Hello everyone, Meep here. Welcome back to another video. So hopefully I have fixed the microphone. It should be working perfectly now. So anyway, today I am going to be reviewing Thieves by James Riley. And let me just say, this book was awful. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, Thieves by James Riley has 383 pages, too many, and it's half science, half fantasy. And if this sounds good to you, you're absolutely wrong. This book is about Owen, and Owen loves books himself, and his mom even works at the library. His favorite book series is called Keel Nomenfoot, and this book series is about a planet of science versus a planet of magic. And it sounds pretty interesting. And so he meets this girl, Bethany, who's actually half fictional, and she can jump into a story just by essentially jumping into a book. And she can change the plot if she wants to, but she tries to stay away from the main characters. And she really has to jump through these books because she's looking for her father. So anyway, Owen wants to jump into Keel Nomenfoot with Bethany, and she decides after a while, but it turns out that Owen's intention is to change the fate of a character in this book series. Pretty much the only thing that I did like about this book was the concept. It seems so cool that Bethany is half fictional and she can jump into the pages of a book to change it if she wants, or just to walk around in the world. Can you imagine how many people would jump into Harry Potter? And me, myself, I would personally jump into The Giver to try to make it better. I hate that book, but this book is actually my second least favorite book. But James Riley didn't make the book very good, even though that this concept for the book was absolutely fantastic. The most important thing that I hated about this book was the actual book series that the author made up, Keel Nomenfoot, and the idea sounds pretty interesting, where it's about, science versus magic. It seems pretty cool, and I might read it eventually, maybe just to review. But anyway, this book series is incorporated so much into the book that it doesn't even feel like the concept of Thieves, where you can actually jump into the book, is the main concept. It just feels like this magic versus science book series is the main part of it, just because Owen wanted to jump in. And the author makes so much up of this story, it just overwhelms the rest of the book. James Riley could have written it so that Owen and Bethany jumped into a different book. Like, at the start of the book, Bethany jumps into Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Why not jump into some book series that everybody loves? Or even incorporate it into one of his own book series, like Half Upon a Time, which I haven't read, but I've heard about it. But he could have just changed something up, or even actually written this book series about Keel Nomenfoot, or whatever you want to call it, and then just incorporate Thieves in, because that would have been so amazing. I would have loved it if that changed, although that would be sort of a thing where I'd either really love it because of this book series, or really hate it even more, and possibly make it my least favorite book of all time. The next thing that I didn't like about this book was the length. It was 383 pages, way too long, and it says that it's recommended for kids ages 8 to 12, and now it might take a long time for an 8-year-old to actually read this, maybe not, but still it just seems like too long. But also, about halfway through the book, I thought that this could have been wrapped up, right? And all of a sudden, other things just kept being introduced, whether it was about this terrible made-up book series or something else along that nature. It just didn't feel natural. I feel like it could have just ended there, and it would have been fine, and maybe I would have even made it neutral, but no, it just kept going, and that made it so much worse for me. So is this book verified, neutral, or spoiled? It was obviously spoiled, and even though that I didn't have so many things that I didn't like about it, the main two things that I didn't like, they were so important and just essentially the main parts of the book that I didn't really have to dislike anything else. And I could have included other things, but this video is kind of short, but I just kind of wanted to get to the point, and I don't really want to talk about this book for much longer. that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like on the video, and also if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell so you're notified when my next video comes out. So I'm at 75 subscribers now, and my goal is to make it to 100 before May, and that would be pretty good for me. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time.